Welcome to the Safety Culture Onboarding Series. In this video, we're covering part 2 of the admin training, where we'll talk through groups, insights, and how they work together. Now that you've added your Safety Culture's users and reviewed their permissions, it's time to understand how they can be organized effectively. First up is groups. In the simplest sense, a group is a collection of users. The best practice here is to use a standardized naming convention to align groups to your internal roles and structure. Groups are most commonly used to segment users by team, function, department, role, or skill set. And why are groups important? It's because groups allow you to set something up once and then manage this from a group perspective without having to complete the foundational steps, like assigning template access to individual users over and over again. So for instance, if you're adding 20 more users and assign them to their groups as you upload them, they automatically inherit whatever access that group has. So by using the example on the screen, the Director of Safety and Quality is looking after 3 quality managers, who in turn manage their line workers. How we can set this up would be a group of line workers, another group for quality managers, and one more group for the director, which we can name leadership. So then what about sites? How is this different? At Safety Culture, we always say that sites is the backbone of your organization's setup. It's because it impacts how you will collect and view your data. Traditionally, this would be based on geographic locations. However, the site's functionality is now flexible enough to allow you any use case. If you want to see and compare data between different contractors, distributors, or projects, you probably want to set them up as sites. It will also help you use advanced access rules, which are intersectional rules between groups and sites. For example, you want a specific template only to be accessed by users who are part of Group 1 and say Site A. Sites are commonly viewed and used as geographical locations, say a store, an office, or a warehouse. But like I mentioned, it can be used to sort non-geographical aspects of your business as well, such as projects or contractors. It will really depend on what kind of data you want to see in Safety Culture. Some best practices I would share is to think backwards. What data do you want to group together and why? Structured data will give you better analysis and reporting. An area manager might think, I want to see which of our locations are underperforming. Or are these checks that only need to be done by certain areas? And so in this case, they would set up the sites geographically. Getting the site set up correct means you would have better access to analytics earlier in your Safety Culture journey. After you've decided on how you want to set up groups and sites for your organization, it's time to go into the platform. Let's look at both groups and sites in action and demo them now. So building off the last demo, when we covered users and permissions, and seeing what we saw about groups and sites, let's dive in. The first thing we'll cover is groups. Let's go to the bottom left again and click groups. And this jumps us into the groups that we have set up already. We can see here the groups that we have, how many active users, and if there's a description describing what that group is. Let's go to the top right and hit Create Group. Let's create a group called Executive Leadership. For this, we could add users or groups of users. I'll just add myself here and add that and create the group. So after I create the group, we can see here the users that are assigned to it, any details, and if we wanted to add other users to the group. So going back, I'll go back to the group homepage. We'll see that Executive Leadership has been added with a 1 active user. So next we'll go to the top right and look at the group matrix. As we can see here, the group matrix is a visual way to review which users are assigned to each group. You've got the users on the left and the different groups on the top. With the ticks or checkboxes indicating which users are part of which group, it's easy to see those who aren't assigned to any group now. Building on that, let's go click an Add Filter, and let's look at anyone who's not a membership of a group. We can click the No Group Membership and go ahead and click Done. And what this will do is anyone who's not a member of a group will populate here. This is basically a way for us as a management tool to see if anyone in our org is not a part of a group, and then from there we could assign them the applicable types. So now that we've covered groups, let's talk about sites. We'll click Sites here at the top. And after you've decided on how you want to use sites for your organization, it's time to go into the platform like we're seeing here. One of the quick wins is to make sites work for your business is to customize the site labels accordingly. Clicking the 3 dots in the top right, we can go in and update these under customizing our site labels. We see this here, but let's add this on the bottom, changing from site to something like location. We'll update those labels and we'll see that reflected in our hierarchy. What you see here now is the actual site hierarchy that we've customized. And how it works is the lowest level of a site, which we just named the location, is usually where the actual work is being done. And that hierarchy of sites is up to you to customize. An important thing to remember here is that if you add members to a hierarchy level, that they see the site levels below it. You can do that by hovering on the right side and clicking on the Add Users icon. So let's go add myself to the United States. And with that, I would inherit any of the sites below me. I'll add myself, click Done, and I'd save and apply. With that, I would have access to the United States and any of the sites below me. So usually how we see a lot of our customers apply this is users like area managers are assigned on the second or third levels. So they have an overview of how specific locations or projects are performing. Now it's time to add a site, which you can do either via CSV bulk upload or manually add it into the platform. So going down to Texas, we could add the plus sign here, and already having Houston, let's add a level below and add this as Dallas. I'll click the checkbox here, and that will add this as our site. These hierarchies allow you to track data and users across several sites at once and provide a pathway for your manager's organization's site membership more effectively. The next button there, the Move Sites, means you can reposition the site within the hierarchy, but keeping the site structure that's been set up in place. We could also add users to a site here and delete sites as well. So after you set up your sites, you can also configure your site selection settings. We can do that in the top right here by clicking these three buttons and going to the site selection settings. Here you can control which sites will be available for your users to view in the site list and select from inspections, schedules, actions, issues, and when filtering. So as we can see here, this gives us the access or ability to check the users can view and the users can only view sites they're members of. We'll keep it the same. We'll save and apply there. And with that, that wraps up setting up our sites hierarchy. So how do groups and sites work together? Groups are commonly used to categorize users according to teams or job functions. You can later assign by group what users can and can't do in safety culture. Sites, on the other hand, is twofold. First, groups and sites can work together as they help you create advanced access rules. This is the intersection between groups and sites. And second, sites helps you interlink data you collect across the platform. It allows you to compare trends easier when sites is set up accordingly. So as you've seen, groups and sites are a powerful tool to organize users and collect the right data within safety culture. In the next videos, we'll see how these support the rest of your safety culture setup, ensuring your team has the right visibility and access within the platform.